So welcome back, everyone. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We'll share the show later on. My next guest has been on with me for well over 4 years. I have with me Howard Farkash, who's a financial services professional. Welcome back to the show. You've been on many, many times, and today you said you wanted to kind of bounce around, Carol. So let's talk a little bit about what we want to bounce around with.
Well, let's talk a little bit to start out with. First of all, it's good to be back. Thank you very much. Enjoy my time here and being able to broadcast to the greater Phoenix market. My agency is built around the basic, what we call life products, life insurance, health insurance, including Medicare, disability, income, and long-term care solutions, basically. And what we do is make sure that people don't have an unfortunate incident which really wipes out their lifestyle or wipes out their retirement plan. And that can happen very easily if some of the more unfortunate events that happen to some people happen to them. We don't like to see that, obviously, so we offer insurances. We spread the risk. That's what insurance is all about. I've been in the insurance business ever since the early 1990s, here in Phoenix, Arizona, since 1997, 1998 time frame. My agency actually started out as being a health insurance agency, strictly focused on health insurance. And as time moved along, we graduated into Medicare. And from Medicare, we also moved into other areas like life insurance, disability income, and long-term care. We're going to spend a certain amount of our time today talking about Medicare because it is the core part of my agency, and it is one of the ways that I actually meet people. Everybody turning 65 in the age group of 65 through 70 generally needs to enroll in a Medicare program. Some will get it through their government employment or their military employment. Others will actually have to get it by themselves. They'll have to go into the marketplace and figure it out for themselves. And that's the value that I bring to the table, basically, is I've been in Medicare. I've been doing Medicare since 1998. And I'm in Medicare myself, so I kind of know it from the inside out.
You walk the talk.
Right, exactly. I've been there, done that, and I've seen that just as well. One of the more interesting aspects of Medicare is its rules are quite simple, but it's an exception to those rules that kind of lead people into Medicare traps, basically. And what I do as your guide, and I'm a broker, I get paid by the insurance companies I recommend. You don't pay me for the service that I provide. When I do that, I help you stay out of those traps, basically. So one of the interesting things about Medicare is there's a lot of people like me that you can deal with when it comes time to choosing a broker or a representative. Representatives typically only represent, or they're called agents, typically only represent one insurance company. So they're going to tell you all about that insurance company. And of course, this can be the greatest thing since canned beer and sliced bread. But on the other hand, you might want a broader perspective. And because of that, you're likely to turn to a broker who represents many of the carriers in the marketplace. One of the things we do, though, is while we represent them, we're authorized to sign you up or enroll you, but we really represent you to them. That's the function of our brokerage, basically, is we recommend you to an insurance company. We find out what your needs are, what you're looking for in a plan, and then we recommend plans to you, to them, etc., that are going to be the best plans for you.
So can I talk about you for a little bit?
Well, everybody talks about me.
So I'm going to do it too. So one thing that I know about you, Howard, is that you're so meticulous in everything that you do, even when you want to bounce around on this show. But honestly, what I love about you is that when you have a question, when you have something you're not quite sure about, you are the guy, because you really come back with a full, detailed email if you're talking to them or if you're talking with them. And I guarantee you probably back up your phone conversations with emails so that they understand, because you are incredible when it comes to explaining and understanding everything to a T.
Oh, absolutely, no question about that. But one of the important aspects of the work that I do is I do ask you, my prospects, a lot of questions. I have to find out about you, what your needs are, what your finances look like. Actually, Medicare is the intersection of your finances and your health status, basically. So for that intersection, we try to find the best plan for you. That only comes about by an awful lot of questioning. Now, that's very important. Another way you can find a broker is you can, you have to interview brokers. You can ask your friends, who's your broker? But is he really any good? And how do you tell what is a good broker? And because of that, what is a good broker question, I have prepared and I offer to the marketplace. I offer a white paper on the questions you should be asking a potential broker for you. This is an interview because essentially you're hiring somebody. You're not going to pay him, the insurance company will pay him, but he is working for your benefit basically. And because of that, you need to know what kind of questions to ask him to see if he's going to be a good broker for you. Does he just push one kind of a product versus another? How long has he been in the business? And it could be a she just as well, of course. But these are the kinds of things you need to know in order to select a broker who has your interest at heart as opposed to just another sale, just another sale. As far as I'm concerned, there are no other sales. I treat everybody like family and make sure that they get the plan that is absolutely the best for them.
So if you're looking for a good broker, right? And if you're looking for somebody who has your interest at heart, just call Howard.
Well, you can just call Howard, that's fine. You can also get my interview sheet and interview me, for crying out loud.
The phone number
That's
to call
fine.
him is 602-909-8433.
So that's an important part of the work that we do. Another thing that we do is we offer to the marketplace a book called Medicare Made 1, 2, 3 Easy. This is a book that's written in what I call regular language as opposed to insurance jargon. And it tries to smooth out a lot of those traps in the areas where people can get in trouble. So I offer that book just as well. If you're just new to Medicare, coming into Medicare, that's important. I'm going to switch the conversation right now, however, to one other important aspect of Medicare, and that is that a lot of Medicare plans are only good for 1 year. Some of them do renew all by themselves. Medicare supplements definitely renew all by themselves. But as far as Medicare Advantage plans, many of them are only good for 1 year. Please, please, please always sign up for a review with a broker, preferably, to be sure that your plan is, number one, that you're staying in territory, it's going to be available for you for next year, and that your doctors are still going to be part of the program just as well, and that your drugs are at the most economical cost point as they possibly can be. Do your annual review as it pops up every October, November, and December timeframe.
The number to call Howard is 602-909-8433. This is a free service to you, the families out there, and in my opinion, it makes sense to speak to somebody here local and who's definitely looking out for you.
So thank you, Carol. So I'm going to I know we'll be going to a break in just a few moments. I'm going to switch the conversation to some of the other kind of products that my agency handles.
Okay.
Because nothing can ruin a great retirement plan with an unforeseen event, an untimely death.
An unfortunate
basically.
incident.
That's
what you said.
Exactly. An unfortunate incident should not ruin your heirs, your survivors, your family, the people that you're responsible for.
Well, the best thing to do is, first of all, if you have any questions, is to speak to somebody here local. Do not call the 800 numbers on television. A lot of people do. No matter what, no matter how many times you say it over and over and over again, they think Joe Namath is calling them back.
Well, Joe Namath is no longer calling people for Medicare. He's now
selling
selling hearing aids.
So the best thing to do is just call Howard. His phone number is 602-909-8433. We're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk further. Again, it is a free service to you, so it just makes sense to make sure that you call somebody here, also a broker preferably, that's what you said. And if you're looking for somebody who's looking out for you, looking for somebody who is going to help you understand, and if you have any questions whatsoever, he's going to make sure that you understand. He also has the book Medicare Made 1, 2, 3 Easy that he's going to give to you as well. Again, that phone number is 602-909-8433. We're still live in the room, so you're going to keep on talking. Okay. We're still live in the room, so
Yes,
we're going to keep
yes.
on talking.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good time to take a break.
Okay. We'll take a break on this live Facebook that we're on right now.
Fine. We'll talk about life insurance next.
Okay.
We'll probably get into disability income, and we'll probably actually start out with Medicare doesn't cover everything, the need for long-term care.
Right, long-term care.
That'll probably where we'll start out with. Probably start out down that path, and then we'll switch back into life insurance and disability income.
What's the number one question that people should ask when looking for an agent?
Well, you ask me this all the time, And,
Have you ever answered it? I don't even know
no,
now.
because I always talk around it.
Okay. So-
Because there is no such thing as, I don't statistically analyze that.
Right.
Usually they ask for a quote, they ask for a price quote.
Right, that's what
Right.
they want.
But it's more, but life is so much more than a price quote.
Right,
So
you can't really give
If you
them
want
a,
to ask that question, I'll respond with that answer.
do you want me to ask you
Oh,
that
you
question?
can, no, that's fine.
Okay, I'll
Sure.
write it down. What did I say? I forgot it.
What's the most frequent question you get? Right. Can't be a price shopper, you gotta look at quality. Are we having fun yet?
Great.
Okay, good. Yes, yes, yes. So you wanna see my commercial when this is over?
Yeah, would you like to hear it?
Oh, yeah, when this is
Well,
over.
we just put it together. We didn't really do the whole thing yet. It's not perfected because we just utilized the verbiage that you gave us.
Okay,
Okay.
I wanna tell you, that was constructed by artificial intelligence.
Oh, that's right, you told me that.
Yeah. It's amazing what's going on in the world. I had to do a commercial, couldn't think of one for the longest time. I got one.
I'm ready, I got you.
Finally,
I got you covered.
I went to ChatGPT, said, develop me a commercial, told them a little bit about what I want.
When you're his age,
Bada bing, bada boom.
when you're my age, not just his age, you're pretty impressed by that.
Yeah, oh, that is very impressive.
But it just depends on what it's writing.
I'm sorry.
I can't like it, I don't like when they like go for it for a love note, you know? You okay?
Write me an anniversary card. Smack, smack.
I'm sure it happens a lot. I don't know what to say. So welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Howard Farkash, and he is a financial services professional. And at the break, we always talk to people at Facebook land and stuff like that out there. And I had asked Howard, what's the most frequent question that you get asked all the time?
Well, that's a very interesting, surprisingly enough, people want to know a quotation. Give me a quote. Give me a quote on something, okay? Well, this is not like going down to Fry's and seeing what their apples are going to cost today. The issue is so much broader than just a number. If you're looking for the lowest priced financial product, you're probably going to get something that you don't want in the long run, basically, because it's going to be lacking certain quality aspects, basically. So I shy away from that quotation question by starting to ask a lot of my own questions, because I will wind up giving somebody both a very lowball quote, because there are price buyers out there. I'll explain to them why that may not be the best deal for them, and then I'll quote them with something that is very realistic for them, basically, for their consideration. But the idea of quoting a price is, it just, I want to almost say it's offensive, basically, but it also identifies, to me, somebody who really is at this for the very, very first time. Now, one of the issues that we have in our world today is we have an issue of financial literacy, and people don't know what they don't know when it comes to the world of finance. So one of the services that my organization does for me is we have what's known as the WealthWise program, basically. And the WealthWise program, they call it a financial literacy program. I call it a financial knowledge program, basically. Look they're still teaching kids in high school to balance checkbooks, okay?
Right,
And
we
that's
don't
what-
even use
and
checks anymore.
And that's what they call teaching kids about financial literacy, basically.
Mhm.
It's not that at all. There are so many more important things to understand when it comes to financial product. Look, you go down to the YMCA. What does the YMCA stand for? Body, mind, spirit. Those are wonderful things to be developing. But underneath it all, we are all financial men and women, okay? No matter what our occupation, no matter what our hobbies are, we are financial people. We live in a financial world, okay? And so it's very important that we understand the basics of the economy itself, a personal economy, personal finance, personal economy. So I do work an awful lot with people, and that's how people learn to avoid the question of, give me a quote. Now, you didn't expect that
No,
answer.
but I love that I did ask you that, because you got to say what that, you never said that before,
Well,
that's awesome.
We haven't talked about that before.
No.
I wanna go back to that Medicare thing we talked about. Medicare doesn't cover everything. As we grow older, we become weaker, just as frail, the aging process. We have certain events happen to us, heart, liver, kidneys, etc. We're not the same people we used to be.
Tell me about it.
Okay, and so what we know is, as time goes along, approximately 70% of us, should we live into our 75, 80, 85, 90, we're gonna need some form of long-term care assistance, okay? Now, traditionally, the financial world has given us long-term care insurance, and well, they should have, but it wasn't the greatest product in the world because it's built on a use it or lose it chassis. And because of that, people shied away from it. So now, mostly daughters are providing long-term care for their fathers and their mothers, sometimes actually giving the care, other times supervising it, taking money from their own needs, basically, the so-called sandwich generation between their own kids and their own parents. And this causes financial hardship. Over the years, the financial services industry has developed other long-term care solutions. And I say to you, whether you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, and on into your 80s, you can still find solutions in the financial world to spread that risk out, and maybe even leverage that risk. So if you've got money, and I'll just use a fake figure, $100,000 sitting in your left-hand pocket, and it's there just in case you need it for long-term care, how about moving it to your right-hand pocket and having it leveraged out to be worth $200,000 or $300,000? That's the leveraging principle in the more modern long-term care solutions. Now you say, gee, if I don't use it, what happens to the money I put in? Well, if I just die peacefully in my sleep without ever taking an aspirin, what's going to happen to that money? It's going to go to your beneficiaries. So it's not use it or lose it. It's use it for long-term care and have it leveraged for you, or send it on to your kids who would have gotten it anyway, basically. So that's what's happening in the long-term care side of the equation. Now let's take a look at life insurance. You know, you and I have talked before about straight life insurance, term life insurance with living benefits. That means life insurance with living benefits means your money is working in two directions at the same time. It's going to cover you for life insurance, but what if something happens to you and you can't go back to work, okay? Or you need to spend a year in rehab before you can go back to work. It's going to pay living benefits just as well, as long as you meet certain criteria, such as not being able to do two activities of daily living. So life insurance has come a long way over the years. And I invite you, the listening audience, shop your term with me, because life insurance rates have fallen. They become more competitive, and maybe you do need insurance. You know, it's kind of funny. Getting somebody to buy life insurance for the first time is like trying to push a boulder uphill. But on the other hand, it so happens that actually people buy life insurance 5 to 7 times during the course of their lives. And that's when their responsibilities change. An old saying is you buy life insurance because you either love somebody very much or you owe somebody very much, basically. So for that reason, people buy life insurance. But you take care of your heirs, take care of your family, to make sure that in case you're not there, at least a legacy had been left for you. And actually, this lesson was taught to me by a presenter. I went to an insurance meeting. The lady was talking about estate planning. That's nice. She was a 40-year-old a woman who had actually lost her father when she was 11 years old. Her mother had to go back to work. His father had not left any insurance whatsoever. They had to give up their nice home in the suburbs. She and her brother were unsupervised. Her brother got into a lot of trouble by being unsupervised. She had to put her own way through college, pay her own way through college. My goodness gracious, again, a very big expense while her mother was out working to just keep food on the table in their 2-bedroom apartment somewhere in a neighborhood that was nowhere near the neighborhood they were living in. These are the consequences of not taking care of your family. Now you can tell, if you're watching on video, you can tell I'm not exactly a young guy. So my life goes back to a time when we had family obligations, and these were very deeply held obligations. People were highly responsible in years past, okay? Oh, that's not going to happen to me doesn't count. A GoFundMe page is not a life insurance policy. And because of that, you need to take an active look at that. Let's sit down, let's talk about it together. Oh, by the way, did I mention life insurance? Because when I was young, we didn't have two wage earners in the family. There was only one. But now we have a wife who's out working just as well. So what about life insurance? Some people are trying to tell me that a wife is worth $175,000 a year in the services that they provide, okay? With picking up the kids, being a chauffeur, cooking, with what they earn, of course, is important outside the home. Taking kids to soccer practice, running out and buying the clothes. It goes on and on and on. My point is that I think we're not preparing ourselves very well for the unplanned events, basically. One of my agency's values outreach is called "Be Prepared." That's one of them. It's an old Boy Scout motto, but it's very important to be prepared. The second thing we look at is our company song is anticipation, okay? That's another strong, powerful word. You have to anticipate. Look at, we've seen in the news so much tragedy just recently. You can never tell when it's going to happen to you. I don't want it to happen to any of you. So far I've got a clean record, okay? And this is no joke. The only death claim I ever had to pay was to my brother-in-law, okay? But so far I'm doing very well in keeping people alive. So, hey, I'll take it one more step further. If you don't think it's going to happen to you and it's just a waste of money, then let's look at a plan that's going to return all your premiums at the end of a term. We can do that just as well. Don't escape your responsibilities. I look forward, Carol, we're getting to the end of our day today here, coming back and talking to you about disability income. That's a very important area just as well.
Well, there's all of this is important, and the best thing to do is to have that consultation with him. It's a free service to you to do, and there's so many different products today, and there's also the difference is that you're really going to understand it. You're not just getting something that we're just going to put this money into. You're going to understand the literacy of it is really, really important to you.
Like I said, people don't buy life insurance because they can't park in front of their house and have their neighbors come over and drool over it, okay? That's really a tragedy in and of itself. Mm-hmm. Let's stop keeping up with the Joneses. Let's take care of our families.
Be prepared. This is what he said. And anticipate. Anticipate for some of these things, because you never know when an unfortunate incident is going to happen. Nobody does. So the best thing to do is to make sure that you write this number down. It's 602-909-8433. Again, it's a free service to you. And, do you go to them, or how does that work?
Actually, most of the time I do go to folks' homes, but we can also go to my office as far as that's concerned. So we can take care of you whichever way you want to be taken care of.
Right. And so what he wants you to do is make sure you're prepared. And, he comes from the old school.
Very old school.
But I like that. And, I wish that the old school was back. I wish people would listen and make sure that you do take care of your family. It's what he was basically brought up with. And if you have any questions, Howard is the one to talk to. Again, that phone number to call is 602-909-8433.